Many of our customers struggle with paper, and SmartSend can help by being able to scan and distribute paper-based documents to repositories such as DocuShare or Microsoft SharePoint, to remote printers, to fax machines, and to email addresses. We made it extremely easy. Let's say for a moment we're a contract manager and I just received an urgent contract. I've made my changes. I need to distribute that to a team. How would I do that today? Well, I could take this document, could copy it, and overnight it to people. That's very expensive, and that will slow down the approval process. I could fax it to people, but fax isn't very high quality. And, well, people have to walk up to a fax machine. Well, let's see how we can do with the SmartSend. I start by simply placing the contract into the Work Center. Next, you select the All Services button, then the Network Scanning button, and you select the contract's workflow. Then simply press the green button. SmartSend routes the contract to my Contracts folder in DocuShare and sends a link to the contract via email to my coworkers. Imagine the time and cost savings of distributing contracts this way as compared to the slow, manual way. Now imagine that this process occurs a couple times a day. The efficiency impact is dramatic. Well, setting up such a powerful workflow must be extremely difficult. Oh, no, it's not. Let's see why Byers Laboratories says that SmartSend is extremely easy to use. I start by clicking on Add a New Workflow. I previously added a DocuShare collection which I want to include in my new workflow. I simply check the box next to the name of the collection to add it. Next, I add a new mail recipient by selecting Add Addresses, and then I name this address Frank Garrett. I type Frank's last name and click on the Check Names button. SmartSend uses LDAP technology to look up Frank's email address. I click on the email address and it is added to the destinations list. Finally, I press OK to add the destinations. I can continue to add other destinations such as DocuShare, SharePoint, Lotus Domino in much the same way. You can send a document to multiple destinations with just one scan. Press the Next button to move on to the Document Attributes screen. We will let SmartSend name the file automatically. We want the user to be able to provide the document title as it will display in DocuShare. That's what document management fields are for. SmartSend allows you to set up profiles which will allow you to enter this information when you scan. You can customize these profiles, but SmartSend provides some default profiles that will work for most users. In this case, we will select the basic profile, which will allow the user to enter the DocuShare document title, which will also be used for the email subject. The Workflow Settings screen allows you to select how confirmations are communicated. In this case, I'll use the default setting of having SmartSend send me an email. I can restrict who can use this workflow, but I want everyone to be able to use it, so I select Public and press the Next button to go on to the summary screen. One nice thing about SmartSend is I can edit this workflow in the future or use it as a starting point to create another similar workflow. That is why at this point I need to name and store this workflow that I've just created. In this case, I will name it New Contract. And I need to get this workflow out to the multifunction devices where I'll be using it. That's called publishing. It will show up as a push button or template under the Network Scanning tab. SmartSend has created a title for the template based on the file name, and that's fine. So I'll come on down to the list of multifunction devices in my organization and select the two that are nearest to my work group. I'll select them and click OK to finish. SmartSend tells me that it has successfully published the workflow to my multifunction devices, and that brings me back to where we started, ready to use my workflow as quickly and easily as you saw in the beginning of this demo. Before concluding the demo, I'd like to highlight Paperware cover sheets. There's a couple of reasons Paperware cover sheets are important. One is dynamic routing of documents. The other is on certain types of simple multifunction devices, you may only have scan-to-email or internet fax scanning capability. And in those cases, you need a cover sheet to direct the documents where to go. With a Paperware cover sheet, you simply lay the cover sheet on the document and scan the stack to SmartSend. The cover sheet tells SmartSend which workflow to act on, and in this case, the document would be stored and routed as we discussed earlier. The second reason why Paperware can be so useful has to do with these checkboxes that you see here. The idea is that you may not always want to send the document to all the same people. With a cover sheet, you can simply select by checking the boxes where this document is to be distributed. In this case, I may want to store it in DocuShare and only notify one person. How you use a cover sheet is you stack the cover sheet on top of your document, the feeder of the device, select All Services, Network Scanning, and this time you select the Paperware workflow and press the green button. Creating the cover sheet is as easy as publishing the template. I simply publish the workflow as a cover sheet instead of, or in addition to, publishing it as a template. In this case, I'll select the workflow I just created and then select Publish a Cover Sheet. I'll accept the title SmartSend Supplies and I'll create a cover sheet. I'll open it in Adobe Reader. Now I can print as many copies as I need. And so that's it. In conclusion, you have seen me send a contract and send it into DocuShare and send it as an email address in a searchable PDF format, which means that it's indexed by DocuShare so that at a later time you can do a simple keyword search to find that document. And you've seen me notify our team members that a new contract's available in DocuShare. And it was as easy as making a copy. You've also seen me create a workflow and publish it either as a template or as a cover sheet, which allows you to choose at the time of scanning what destinations you'd like to send that document to. I'd also like to mention that there's two versions of SmartSend. The cover sheet functionality as well as the OCR functionality is available in the professional version, and all the other features are available in the standard version. And whatever version you choose, I hope you agree that SmartSend is a simple, friendly, and powerful tool for your customers.